Lynn can further into the presentation, that recording will be available. We'll both send that to folks who registered, as well as it'll be available on our website, along with many other webinar presentations that we've done in the past. To get there, you can just visit our site at innovativecomp.com. Click on the resources and then the webinars, and you'll be able to download a copy of today's presentation after that's been made available. If you would, for those that haven't muted yourselves, please do. We hope that it's an interactive session. If you have questions, please go ahead and put something in the chat window. We are going to allow for 15 minutes of question and answer and discussion toward the end of the presentation. And so we'd love to have an open dialogue after the presentation and answer all those questions for you. So before I introduce our primary presenter, I just wanted to do a quick introduction of myself. My name is Ted Glutz. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing at Innovative Computing. I've got about 35 years in the legal industry. The last 25, I've been immersed in legal technology. Really glad to be a part of today's presentation, and even more so to be joined by LawToolBox and what they have to offer. With that, we're glad to have with us as your primary presenter, Carol Lynn Groh. We are going to walk through what LawToolBox has to offer. They've become one of our most recent partners. We build on this partnership going forward. Innovative Computing Systems has been around for 26, 27 some odd years. We're basically the premier technology integrator for law firms, and we have a small percentage of other professional businesses who have reached out and asked for our assistance in working with their enterprise systems, moving them to the cloud, as well as asking us to be their managed services provider across the board with full help desk, as well as project implementation capabilities. Having said that, if you have any questions for me, I will be around toward the end of this presentation. We thank you again for joining us, and I will turn it over to Carol Lynn.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Ted, for kicking us off today. And I'm so excited to be here and to be working closely with the Innovative team and to tell you a little bit about LawToolBox and our docketing system. Specifically, today we're going to be talking about LawToolBox for Office 365 and some of the neat things we have going on with Office for Legal. I am planning to share a little bit during our session about how LawToolBox is used with Office with hosted exchange and local exchange as well. We call that our premium solution, our traditional solution that our clients have been using. But our spotlight for today will be about Office 365. We'll also spend a little bit of time talking about how we work with a variety of case management solutions as well. So that's it. As far as housekeeping goes, please do feel free to send any kind of messages that you have through the chat window, and we're happy to answer those as we go, or at the end. We are planning to save about 20 minutes for some back and forth dialogue to talk a little bit more and delve into some of the things that come to your mind as you're listening to the presentation. So we may not answer the question immediately, but we'll be watching the chat window to kind of answer as we go. So feel free to start posing those whenever you'd like. Also, I will be talking a little bit about how we got started and how we fit into the legal community to kind of kick things off. So we became a business because missed deadlines are the #1 cause of malpractice claims against attorneys. Founded by a litigator, our company really came into life with that particular topic in mind. So born in the cloud, our system was designed because the idea that law firms are out there and attorneys all over the country, paralegals, spend their time researching deadlines, typically manually adding them to their Outlook calendar, or to a case management solution that pushes to their Outlook calendar, is the issue that our solution solves. And when you think of a malpractice provider, they're going to be incentivized to help their insureds not miss deadlines. And I think some of you in law firms out there are familiar with getting discounts on malpractice for having an electronic calendaring system. And we more than qualify with the typical requirements to get a discount on malpractice insurance is 2 to 3 redundant systems and centralized backup type systems for managing deadlines. And we more than qualify for that with about 4 or 5, and you'll see a little bit more about that as we go. So a little bit more about LawToolBox. So we were born in the cloud in the late 90s as a rules-based calendaring solution. Basically, we created a database of the court rules, and on top of that, layered our own web-based, we call it LawToolBox Premium docketing solution. So we have our own court rules that we've built, and we layered on that a cloud-based docketing system that I will be covering near the end of the session. We've been around for quite a while. Our name has become familiar in the legal industry. In the 2006 timeframe, we took a position where we looked at our clients and we listened to what they have to say. And when it came to managing their calendar, we decided to really wrap our entire solution and our go-to-market, everything we were doing, around Outlook. And so we built more of a sync solution that it allowed our clients to live in the cloud version where we're centralizing their dates and their docketing system, but get the deadlines into their Outlook calendar the way they wanted those. And those deadlines where they could control, only get the deadlines they need, customize the way they come in so that their calendars are not overwhelmed with dates that don't apply to their cases. So that has been a wonderful model for us. I'm going to say that, well over 60% of our clients are not using our Office 365 solution. They're using, hosted, or they're using the local exchange component with our solution. And almost all of those folks are using some sort of case management solution that our deadlines are populating into via Outlook or directly. So what happened is in 2013 is when we really got close together with Microsoft and had some conversations about where are things headed in the future. And Microsoft challenged us and said, why don't you consider being the first to build a solution that is completely natively built inside via APIs, the Office 365 environment. So we started down that path in 2013 and have come all the way to where we are now, which is LawToolBox 365 Office for Legal, which I'll be demonstrating here in a short moment. Another key thing about us is, we talk about working with any case management system that two-way syncs with Outlook, but also having some direct integrations with case management solutions. So we've got some of those listed here. We are very much an API company, and we will be announcing several more case management providers, a lot of very well-known ones that you've heard of, where we'll be having a direct API integration with them as well. So stay tuned over the next 4 weeks and 8 weeks for more announcements on that front. Okay, on to our topic for today, LawToolBox 365 Office for Legal. You may have seen us out in the industry as LawToolBox 365 Matter-Based Deadlines in Outlook. So about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, we changed our name and we were republished in the store and are now Office for Legal. And you'll learn a little bit more about how we've expanded and why that name has been adopted. let's talk first about who uses our system. So it's clearly law firms. In the law firm, it's initially the legal department, the litigation group, and then over the, after the first several months, then we start to see some of the deadline-intensive transactional attorneys or document-intensive specialty practice areas coming on board with our build your own deadline templates. We'll talk more about that. We also have corporate legal departments that use us, and lots of government agencies, insurance companies. Nationwide Insurance is a customer of ours, and some regulated industries where we're automating regulatory administrative deadlines, such as with Los Angeles County School District, for example, teacher dismissal type deadlines. So lots of different kinds of flavors, not just deadlines that are coming off of the court's rules. Also customized deadlines for firms. So many of you have heard of Microsoft Matter Center. We were, LawToolBox, back in 2013, we started building into Office 365, and shortly after that, Microsoft brought us in under NDA to help develop Matter Center. And what you're going to see in a moment is basically our court rules calendaring solution combined with Office 365 is effectively a Matter Center light type solution, and we're going to see more about that. The difference is that it works with any version of Office 365 straight out of the box. So here is our 2-minute video. I'm not going to play it for you, but I hope that at the end of our session you'll share our link. It's on lawtoolbox.com/Office365, or ask the innovative team to send you a link to this 2-minute video. It is a great way to share with people in your organization what is the system. Microsoft Studios actually just produced it, and it just went live in the market on May 16th. So I guess that's just over a month ago. So it tells the story pretty succinctly. We talked about how our system works with any case management system that two-way syncs with Outlook, and we like to kind of emphasize that because all of our customers are typically using one. Now I'm going to quickly run through a couple of slides before I jump into the live demonstration here, so that you have a sense of what this is all about before we dig in. So we're a centralized cloud-based docketing system. We bring matters to the Outlook inbox, like you can see on the right-hand side, but also to handheld devices. So we are riding on the coattails of Microsoft, who has built an Office 365 infrastructure that not only works on any kind of device, any laptop or iPad, but it also is developing solutions that work on all phones, works on a Mac, even Outlook on a Mac on the client. You can access all this exact same look and feel. So it's pretty exciting for us to be basically leveraging all of the different things that Microsoft does. You'll notice that the name of this app up here is Groups. This is the Office 365 Groups app. Using our solution, you'll have all of your matters and you can open them up on your iPhone or your Android. Just again as a preview, you'll see how you can generate, instantly update your trial date deadlines as an email arrives, and with the click of a button, add them to everybody's calendar in your organization. And this is how the deadlines will look. We'll see that in a moment. These slides can be made available through the innovative team to your team if there are things that you want to show your organization in a presentation. A lot of times larger law firms like to bring a PowerPoint in and share it with their team internally. Here we have an example of how the deadlines can also be shared from your LawToolBox account, whether you're using our premium solution in the cloud or the Office 365 version. You have the ability to selectively add deadlines to a client's Google or calendar events, for that matter, to make sure your client shows up in court, or a witness's Outlook, co-counsel on a Mac, an expert's iCal, and in insurance adjusters, Lotus Notes. So I mentioned Nationwide Insurance is a client of ours. We actually developed our Lotus Note solution for them and have now more recently helped them as we've rolled out our solution for Office 365, because they just made the big leap from Lotus Notes straight to Office 365. Okay, oh, sorry, I just clicked on my power button. So give me a second as I log back in. I think, hold on a second. So I got a new computer, and my new computer has a button right next to where I tend to adjust it when I'm moving it around, and I just turned it off. All right, you can all see my screen, right? If you can't, somebody shout out to me. Okay, so here is a screen, and we're going to see how this works, but we have the ability, what you're seeing here is a structure where you can save documents with a single click into, thank you, Ted, into a document folder. So this screen is a super good one. You're going to see it live in action here shortly. But these are all the different buttons that we make available, and this is how we've really taken on the name Office for Legal, and super excited that that shows up. Now you'll see in a moment how we can also pull up a dashboard. We're actually looking at the Outlook inbox here. And just a quick highlight so you kind of see this as it's coming throughout the presentation. What we bring is a matter-based structure. We bring it into Outlook so that it always works. As you get new updates with your Office 365, we're built in via API, so you're not dealing with an installed software that may conflict with other softwares. We come natively inside of Office with your mailbox. But we centralize data. So if you think of Outlook, you're thinking of a solution where you've got your own space in Outlook, and maybe there's a shared public folder, calendar or something. But with our solution, you've got centralized matters, centralized calendars, centralized reporting. So all of these buttons up here allow you to do that. And in this example, we've taken, we believe, and Microsoft, all the folks I've talked to, we're the first of any company anywhere that is using what they call full screen mode in Outlook. So you get to it down here. We'll pull it up on my screen here in a minute. But this is actually your Outlook inbox, and we took over the whole canvas. You're going to see a document folder. This is what we talk about, where we're leveraging the Office 365 document folder structure and the LawToolBox integration with Office 365. You won't see this in the demo, so I can't pull up a phone live next to me unless I had a video camera somehow. Perhaps I could do that. That would be fun. But this is a document folder, and at the same time, you're looking at your document folder on the phone. It's an identical look and feel, it's just smaller. And again, that's the Office. And here is a OneNote, and you'll see how LawToolBox 365 automatically creates a OneNote. And really briefly, these are screens helpful when you're talking to folks, sharing with other people in your organization, that as you're creating a matter in our system, you choose the rule set. This is where you're selecting people in your group, in your work group. This is your Office 365 group. And we're constantly updating who's on your team and who has access to the document folder, who's going to get the deadlines automatically. So we are a modern add-in. What does that mean exactly? That means that we are provisioned with the Office 365 mailbox. We come with the software. We use single sign-on. You're all familiar with opening up different applications that are more personal, and where you're logging in via your Facebook or your LinkedIn account. Same thing here. You're logging into your Office 365, and we automatically connect to that because of the way we've partnered up with Microsoft and integrated. This thing called OpenID won't mean a lot to most of you, but there are two companies in the world, and that's why I have this one partner down here on the screen, that have implemented the level of security that's called OpenID with single sign-on with Office 365, and that is kind of the flagship, well-known Microsoft partner DocuSign, which is also a partner of LawToolBox. We've been traveling around doing a lot of presentations. We'll be doing some more coming up. But those are really the two companies that are so deeply integrated into Office 365 as software solutions that they've implemented, what's called OpenID, and we'll be making some cool announcements over the course of the next 3 months in context with that. So just to summarize, LawToolBox, we automate the calendaring. We don't just have our own court rules that you can log in and use. That is our mantra. That's who we are. We are LawToolBox 365, Office for Legal, and the with deadlines part is the most important part. Many of our clients only use that feature. They have a document management feature, but they use LawToolBox for the deadline piece. Honestly, just as importantly is the build your own deadline template concept. So law firms, they sign up to use us for our court rules calendaring. They expand our solution for other applications within their organizations with the build your own templates. So, they're transactional folks or they're real estate folks. A law firm did it for a mutual fund team. So we create document folders, shared calendars, or a matter calendar, you might call it, with SharePoint, a place to track notes with OneNote. These are all products that come with Office 365. We're just leveraging them for you. You're not buying them extra. We're not selling you a new document folder solution. You already have Office 365 that comes with SharePoint, and we're leveraging that for you to start using in a legal type way to manage your matters. So we're built on Office 365 groups. You can leverage us with teams. I hope people have questions about LawToolBox 365 with teams and how you can manage, do rapid fire communication as a trial is approaching. So, so what do? We leverage Office 365, and we leverage the legal components, and I'm going to spend some time talking about that here in just a moment. So we leverage the key features in Office 365 that are what give law firms a secure, safe place to manage their deadlines and protect privilege and client attorney privilege type information. Legal hold is something, I don't know that we have legal departments on the phone. I think we mostly have law firms. So that's really more interesting to a legal department, so I won't talk about that as much, the discovery hold piece. Governance that comes with Office 365, this is brand new. I'm guessing many of you have not heard about that, so I'm going to talk a little bit about governance and retaining data based on what you're required to do for your clients. Before I jump into that, I'm going to talk a little bit about how we've been spotlighted by Microsoft, just to give you a context of why you'll see a lot of development coming with our product in the coming months. So we won third most business value for an office add-in out of 1,700. There were no legal add-ins, so we were the only legal add-in, but we were third most business value across the Microsoft platform. Most of the products within the Microsoft community are currently more horizontal solutions that apply to any industry, because that's what Microsoft is until we came. We've made Microsoft industry specific with the legal platform. And because of that, because we happen to be actually Microsoft's very first vertical solution and happen to be legal, which is the industry of everybody here on the phone and our core, we've actually landed a spot at the top of the Microsoft page. So this is LawToolBox 365 that I'm demoing for you guys today, Office for Legal with Deadlines, and we're smack dab at the top of the page. So check it out. It's called Office, betterwithoffice.com. And this is the blog post. So you're getting some information just straight off the press. May 16 is when that 2-minute video that I mentioned, I hope you'll watch. It's just got a different front end here, but same 2-minute video that Microsoft produced. Great overview. Please share the blog with folks you know. Microsoft did a white paper on moving to the cloud, and they picked 3 companies to spotlight. They picked Dell Spanning, they picked Barracuda, and they picked LawToolBox because of the things that we're doing in the industry. They invited us to present at the Entrepreneurship Week with some pretty important folks. So on to what matters for a law firm. This brand new feature that just became available, I think it's 6 weeks ago. I know Bob Ambrosi is a name some of you know. I know he talked about it if you saw his blog post. And what it really brings to you, I think, are features that the folks, Ted and his team at Innovative, can really bring to life for you. But one topic I'll highlight is what used to only be available, I mean, Nishan De Silva called me up about a month and a half ago and said, Carolyn, you've got to, let law firms know that this new advanced data governance used to only be available for very large companies that could afford to spend tens of thousands of dollars to set up retention policies and all of the different kinds of automatic classification, intelligent policies, and take action with preserving data. These types of features used to only be available with lots of consulting dollars. Now they come out of the box in Office 365. As you know, with the E5 license, out of the box is the whole PBX phone network. So all of these features are just becoming available to you. What does this one that we've circled here mean? It means you can set a retention policy for 7 years, your Office 365 admin, and that, or whatever time period you need to for your practice of law, to retain your client's information on your on the emails, on the documents you store in your document folder in your Office suite, and that will automatically manage, maintain, purge redundant data that you kind of set rules to manage for your organization. And when you combine that with Office for Legal, all of that retention is happening at the matter level. All of the Jones v. Smith case is going to be retained for that period of time, and all the data is organized. When we talk about Microsoft, even Microsoft Teams, for those of you that really want to get crazy and try a new technology, you're approaching trial and you want to do rapid fire chat with your trial team, you have the ability to set permissions to retain that data as well. So looking at the Office 365 suite, you've got in the green box your traditional Office platform. You've got your mail and your email. You've got up here your Office, your Excel, your PowerPoint. But Office 365 is so much more than that. It's not just Office. It's groups, collaboration, it's Skype, it's Teams, and down here it's that all-important document folder component, so that you don't have to save your documents. For those of you that don't have a document management system, you don't have to save them in your Dropbox or your Box or your Google Drive. For those of you that do have a document management system, we'll be talking about how you can use our system. So real quickly, I'm going to switch over to do a live demo for you, and we're going to pop over to a different screen for that. So here we are, and okay, so now we are looking, at the Outlook inbox of my demo account, Jean Contoso. So Jean Contoso this is for those of you that may be thinking about getting Office 365 and don't yet have it, or those of you that do. What you're looking at here is the Outlook inbox, and you're looking at the desktop version of it. So a lot of people who don't have Office 365 think to themselves, that means I'm logging into the cloud. I don't want to manage my email in the cloud. That's hard. I don't want to log in like with Google. I don't want to have to be online doing things. I want to work locally. So that's a misconception. Office 365 is used by 99% of all Office 365 users, except for Mac maybe, on the desktop client. It's just that your content is being securely hosted by the likes of Microsoft. So you can rest assured that it's being protected. Okay, so that's what Office 365 is. So we're looking at our Outlook inbox. We're going to pop down here and how do you get the solution? You get it by adding it through your Microsoft partner, adding it to your Outlook inbox, so that whether you have Office 365 today or whether you are going to get Office 365, Innovative can add it straight out of the box, so that when you get your Office 365, it's added in, or if you already have it, you can add it. So the solution itself is accessed through these buttons. Now, you're looking at our demo account where we sometimes demo new features. So this is my developmental with all the new stuff that's not available to you all yet. And this is so you would only see these 3 buttons here on the right. And the idea is that we've brought the reporting, the generating of deadlines right to where users spend their day in their inbox, because they're getting emails from courts telling them that a case has been reset for trial. They get emails from opposing counsel about something related to their case and needing to move a depot, or emails from PACER telling them that a new motion has been granted. So the whole idea is that you get your information, and it would be great to be able to manage it. So that's how, without having to go into a separate location. So that's how we and Microsoft got together and brought it right to the Outlook inbox. So we'll start here with setting up a new matter. I've got an email from Brown v. Smith. I click on Matters, and it pulls up my LawToolBox task pad, where I've got a list of all my matters. And just to give you a sense, this is REST API, which means all of the data is just right here. So I type in Brown, and bam, instantly, without any delay, I just pulled up 40, 50 matters. When I hover here, I can see that this is my preference is to see all the matters for the whole firm. But we can set it to see just my matters or closed matters for the firm or for myself. So this is where we're centralizing data for smaller organizations, and in larger organizations, there's different kinds of things we can do to decide who has access to what. Okay, so in this case, we're being asked to set up the Brown v. Smith case. So we're going to pretend that we can't find that case. I have a couple of them here. We're going to say that Brown is spelled with 2 N's. So we look for the case, and we say, oh, it's not in here. I need to set this case up. So I click on New Matter. I enter the name of my case. Here I'm going to enter my internal billing number. So my case management or my billing management solution is going to have a reference number, and I'm going to want to keep track of that. Let's say that Wells Bank is my customer, or an insurance company, for example. Oftentimes, folks will leave a lot of these fields empty, but we've got them there if they need them. So in order to set up the matter, 2 quick things. You choose the name of the case, and you choose the rule set. So in this case, we're going to choose California, and we'll choose LA County, and we'll click Create. Okay, so what have I just done? I have just created my work group or my team. Now I'm going to decide, or I've created my matter, and right now I'm creating my work group or my team. So I'm going to add myself. I'm Jean Contoso. I'm going to add Mary, and I'm going to add James. So those are my team members. So now I know who has access, who's going to get the deadlines, who has access to the OneNote, and who has access to the document folder. So then I click Calculate Deadlines. Maybe I just set up the case and I don't have any deadlines to generate, but in this case I do. The email is telling me that the complaint was filed today, and it's the Brown v. Smith case. So all right, so the complaint's filed. I know that means that my case has commenced. So what we see here are all of the dates chronologically ordered from beginning to end that are going to trigger deadlines for me. So I'm going to say that my today is the 21st, and I have just instantly generated 7 deadlines, okay? Now, I can choose to add all of these deadlines to my calendar, to my attorney's calendars, to everybody on my team's calendar, or I can selectively add them. So I could say I just want this one, and this one, but I'm going to add them all. So now when I click this blue button with a calendar on it that says internal, this is me adding the dates to those 3 people's calendars. So that's my Office 365 group that I created. And you don't need to know anything about groups because we've brought it to you as a law firm in a way that's consumable and makes sense. So it went to 4 calendars, and you can see that the reminders are already coming in. Okay, so went to 4 calendars. You saw me choose 3 people, right? So why is it 4? Because 1 is going to a central calendar. It's called a SharePoint calendar, but think of it as a web-based central matter calendar. So, but more importantly is it's going to each user's calendar because that's what they carry around with them when they're in court and working off-site. They've got it on their phones and on their iPads, and they do that because it's in Outlook the way they want it. Okay, so we've added the dates. Now let's say we wanted to add dates to, let's say that we wanted to, I'm going to close this. Let's say that we wanted to not just add the dates, we just want to add this date to an external calendar. So it could be my expert, it could be my client. We're going to say that this goes to john@gmail.com. So I can actually send it to, I can choose Gmail here, I could choose Lotus Notes, or I could choose Outlook. So I do have to choose my time zone. Of course, it knows that for all my internal users. And I have just added that one single date to John's calendar as well. That comes to them as a calendar invite because they're external people. We don't want to be just doing it automatically. When I click this email button, it's going to send me an email list of the dates that I can share with folks if I want to. Okay, so how do the deadlines look? I come over here to calendar and I can see all my deadlines in the calendar. And they're all going to be up at the top of the day. And I can also see that I would have my depots down here as well. So I think if I pop back to May, I've got some dates. Oh, that's April. There we go. So we've also got depots, for example. So the deadlines go up at the top of the day. Depots gonna go, or client meetings are gonna go in the calendar. Okay, so that's how the dates get generated. Now we're gonna look at another scenario real quickly. I mentioned that I'd pull this up. Well, we'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our example here where we're looking at an email. You saw this on the screen, 4 documents. We come here to Matters, and we pull up the C-Sport case. And we come here to see what can we do. Well, we can just quickly go to the dashboard. We can calculate new trial deadlines because the trial's been continued and it will instantly move them all around for everybody. We can look at a deadline chart. We can go straight to the document folder. That's the SharePoint site. Or we can click more and see everything that we can do. So this is where we've got at our fingertips everything Office 365 for the C-Sport case. So when I click this Save Email, what do you think that's going to do? That is going to take, clicking it, that takes this email that I'm in, because it was C-Sport, and it puts all 4 of these attachments individually into the document folder for this matter. So this is kind of the big aha. We've been getting a great deal of feedback from our clients that are using a case management solution. I'm sorry, a document management solution that tell us, I love this idea. I've got this great document management solution, and it works really well for me. But I love the idea of managing my emails using this. And yeah, I'll have my documents associated with those emails sorted for me, and that's kind of nice. I'm going to keep using my document management system because I have one, but I love this way of managing my emails. So let's go look and see, what does a document folder look like, and how does that all work? So I'm going to just use the full menu so we can pop in here. So when I click on document folder, this is going to pull up my SharePoint site for this matter, and it's going to pull up a little bit more than that. It's going to pull up access to my shared inbox, to my SharePoint calendar, to my OneNote for this matter, and I can jump to my OneNote over here as well. But here are all of my documents that just got saved to my document folder. Again, SharePoint site. I could go to Notebook here. I could go to the calendar here, or I can get to those things from here. I'm going to just pull up my notebook because I want to take some notes on this matter. Maybe I'm on the phone with the client and I just want to jot down what we're discussing. And I want everybody on my team to be able to add notes. Maybe they're not on the phone with the client. They're just like coming up with a strategy for the depot next week. And they've created a tab for depots. So those of you who haven't used OneNote, it's a pretty amazing thing. And if you own Office 365 or you're getting Office or you're upgrading, this all comes with it. And you can, this is the online version, but you can save this to your desktop. You can open it on the desktop version right here by clicking Open in the desktop. So these are just some examples where we've saved the information. We've got a Deadlines tab, Pleadings and Research. Okay, I wanted to save more time for Q&A. Let me see a couple of more things. We talked about, let me see what I've been not covered. Edit matter, that's obvious. I think the rest of this is obvious. I guess view deadlines is just saying, oh, what are all my deadlines? Here they all are. We're going to come down over here. Here's our full screen mode. And let's see, I don't know if I have it activated on here. I should have that. There we go. Now, you just learned something new. Okay. I think that's it. Okay. So this little picture is the picture of add-ins, and here is my full screen mode of something super duper cool. So what we're looking at is we can trace back what we've done in Outlook. So how valuable would that be? We all are in our Outlook doing things and we can't keep track of what we did last. Well, I don't have to because I can just click on my dashboard and I can see, oh yeah, the last thing I did was I set up the Brown v. Smith case with you guys during this demo. And I just got in, it was a long weekend, took the day off. I can't remember what I did last Friday, but oh, I was working on the Bell v. Smith case. So this is me looking back on what I've been doing recently, and of course that's what a lot of the new applications do for you. They kind of help you retrace your steps. Upcoming deadlines. Of course, this is a report of what I've got coming up, and you saw on that print screen that I showed you, I can look at this at my level or at the firm level. So if I go click on reports, and I can do everything I want in full screen if I want to. I'm looking at the firm set of what's coming up, but I just want to look at what's coming up for me. So here's all my deadlines coming up. And I can just jump right to any of these buttons that I want to. So let's say that I've got something on Dawson v. Zoo. I can just say, okay, that's cool. I want to see everything. Oh, that's everything. All right, well, that's good. But now I want to go, and we've got some other features here, but I want to go dig a little bit deeper, and I can dig deeper. Okay, so I'm going to now go ahead and switch back. No, we'll stay here. We're going to now look at premium just real briefly, and before I jump into premium, I'm going to see what questions we have, if we have any that I should try to answer. Okay. I hear that a couple of people have said that my voice is cutting out. I hope that that's not on my end. I'm on a landline, and I hope GoToMeeting standing well and delivering good voice. Hopefully it sounds okay now. Do I sound all right for everybody now? Okay. All right. Okay, so we've looked at LawToolBox 365, the solution that is built into Office 365. So that solution comes from the same backend database as what you can use in terms of custom reporting, audit trail, build your own templates, all of the richness that our traditional solution where you can access all these same cases, all these same deadlines, also from a web-based portal. our traditional web-based portal. So here we are. This is our home page. How do you get to the web-based portal? You just click on Client Login and you enter your credentials. So this is what it takes you to. We have here a list of group calendars. So we've got a firm calendar, a bankruptcy calendar, civil lit, trademark. So you can have teams of people working together. Or you can go to specific users' calendars. And this particular person, Jean Contoso, has access to everybody's because she's doing a lot of work for a lot of different people. Other people may only have access to their own calendar. Maybe they're not even given access to the firm calendar. That's all configurable. We have some very large organizations that use the solution and some very small organizations, really just anybody that needs to track deadlines. So we're going to speed through this real quickly. I'm going to choose Microsoft. And here I've got a list of all of Mike's cases. I can click over here and say, okay, that's cool. Show me what's coming up. So here's a list of all my deadlines coming up. So a little different look and feel. And here I can also see, well, here's all my appointments coming up. I've got a depo, I've got a trial, and I can see who's attending. And up here I've got all of my deadlines. So this is for Microsoft, but I could just as easily, I could go look at that same report and all the reports I'm about to show you for the entire organization. So the whole firm calendar, I would see everything here, and I could see who's the lead attorney for each or for a different calendar. So we're going to pop back over to Microsoft, and we're just going to run through a couple of things real quick. So, when I see, I'm going to pick a case that I know has some dates coming up. So I can see, for example, Miller v. Wilson has some things. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to open up the Miller v. Wilson case. And what do I see here? I see an integration where I can work with Clio, for example. I can use our instant sync to add dates to calendars from here based on teams. I can see that I have the ability to identify what dates got rolled from what date. So here's something that's on a Sunday, July 2nd, and that's rolled to Monday. So deadlines roll forward or backward based on what the court's rules require. So here's an interesting one. It's rolled from a Sunday to a Wednesday based on holidays. So some interesting things that we can do with that. Here's another one on a Sunday being rolled to a Friday. Now I can look at different views where I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to say, all right, that's cool. I want to look at, I want to look at the detailed view of the calendar. So when I click to a detailed view of the calendar, I'm going to see something completely different. I see these longer details for people that are just kind of figuring stuff out and learning. Most people aren't going to use this feature quite as much, but those folks that are just getting started are going to benefit from that. I can also see who changed what date and when. So I see John logged in on 5/24 and had the date landing on the 7th, and then 2 minutes later on the same day, John moved the date, and it moved 1 week. So I have a history, and I can keep track. You know, sometimes people have moved a depo 17 times. You have a complete history here to see exactly what's going on. You also have links to the rules here. Over here, we can say, let me look at some of the reports. These are some of the canned reports that we have for different practice areas. So when I click on Create Report, I pull up a canned report right here, and I can see a lot of attorneys like to keep this type of a report, and I have on a whiteboard or on an Excel spreadsheet. This is all automated. I can pull this up. I can download this into an Excel, and I can slice and dice the data and manage things. But I don't have to use our canned reports, and I don't have to request a report from LawToolBox. I can build my own custom report on the fly. Every one of our dates, so we use the same custom reporting in the LawToolBox 365 solution where there's a report code for each type of date. Let me just show you how I can quickly create a report. So I go Manage Custom Reports, click Create Report, and I submit that. And now all I have to do is name my report. So I'm going to call this Demo Sample Report, I didn't spell that right, but that's okay. I choose my type. So in this case, we'll choose litigation. You saw in our report, we were using the maximum number. We were using 9 columns. I could choose just to do 4 because I don't like busyness. I like to keep things simple. So here I can choose from all of our different types of dates across all venues. So I could say, for example, at issue date is the first date that I want to track, and I can name that column. But the key thing is that all of these track different types of categories of deadlines that have report codes that go into Outlook. You can pull up this same data right from your Outlook inbox by pulling up the report code. We cover that in an advanced training, and so we can share more about that. So we only have 10 minutes left. I'm going to hand it back over to Ted. I don't see new questions coming in. Make sure I don't see any more. And I'm going to let Ted handle our wrap-up. And we're going to switch back over to our other screen here, if we can. And over to you, Ted. And I'll just make sure that I have Ted on the line. He may be actually planning on me doing it. Okay, go ahead, Ted. Sorry about that.
I unmuted one, but failed to unmute the other. Yeah, so let's just open it up. Is there anyone on the phone that has some questions that didn't put anything in the chat window? I'll leave it at that for a moment. Okay. You know, I would add that, you know, one of the things that jumps out to us about the value of LawToolBox and this calendaring ability. I know Carolyn spent a substantial amount of time talking about their partnership with Microsoft and so forth, and you know, it's easy to let that go in one ear and out the other. Sounds like marketing. Sounds like, you know, we're Microsoft's favorite. Okay, so what? Well, it means a lot, because for integrators like us, the vast majority of issues that we receive from our clientele, from our managed services clients, are issues with add-ins. Add-ins developed by so many third-party vendors that don't actually work well, or that stop things up, or cause freezes, or that cause substantial performance degradation. And if you didn't get the point, I want to reemphasize, that's why it's so important, that's why it's so valuable to have that very tightly knit relationship with Microsoft, and the fact that that LawToolBox is actually part of the package, as opposed to something you install later and pray that it connects, integrate properly. So from our perspective, it's an easy choice in creating a partnership with LawToolBox and its calendaring ability, because it's not one more thing that's going to cause problems. It's not one more thing that's going to cause help desk tickets. Frankly, it's a trouble-free solution from our standpoint that provides a substantial amount of value for calendaring for the client. I just wanted to add that. Again, you know, we'll give you all another moment if you thought about any other questions or anything. And if not, we'll wrap this thing up.
I did see a question from Elizabeth Coleman asking about let's see, also we are on Exchange and have a document management system, and we use CompuLog, can we integrate deadlines over to this platform? Yes, we can. We would love to explore that further. We are, you know, constantly implementing clients that have a variety of